Oh yes, we're joined now by a member of the House of Representatives, one of those people who moved from the ADC to the NDC. Honorable Afam Ogene is our guest, a member representing Obara Federal Constituency, Anambra State. He joins us live from our Abuja studio. Good morning, Honorable. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Kayode, and good morning, Nigerians.
I'll just get right into it. We just had this conversation with Chief Dele Momodu where he spoke about why he thinks Mr. Peter Obi left to the NDC. And a lot of people say, why did he take the easy way out, it would seem? Because he could have tested his popularity in the ADC, which will be a precursor to him testing his popularity before Nigerians. But you followed him to the NDC. So why? Why did you seem to take the easy way out?
I don't understand by what you mean the easy way out. If anything, I don't think that Mr. Peter Obi is a training material. In his first run as presidential candidate, he has proven that he should be playing in the Champions League. But besides that, for every political association, there are certain irreducible minimums. You cannot repeat the same thing all over and expect a different result. Just 4 years back, the issue in the PDP, from where Atiku is coming from, was the issue of the North holding the position of national chairman as well as holding the position of presidential candidate. And we all know, in spite of how Mr. Dele Momodu tries to twist facts when he says that zoning is not into the constitution, he should also know that politics is also made up of conventions and norms. And the convention in Nigeria is a zoning pattern between the North and the South, which was why people like former Governor Nasiru El-Rufai galvanized some Northern governors to insist that power must shift to the South in 2023. I don't know where that was written in the Constitution, but that move ensured that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is president today. So, for us, it is the turn of the South. The former President Muhammad Buhari having stayed in office for 8 years. And now that the South has the turn, Mr. Peter Obi even offered to do one tenure in respect of that zoning formula or that convention that power should rotate between the two zones. And if anybody is going against that, I don't know, I thought that they should be having a Thanksgiving that Mr. Peter Obi left to their fold, because we know that Mr. Peter Obi has been the subject of attack. Nobody, especially from the government, wants him on the ballot. And so all these court cases that have been pushed here and there is because of him. So if he leaves to give them the field to run unfettered, I thought that they should have a Thanksgiving. They should be thanking him instead of running around the social media and the major television networks lamenting the exit of Mr. Peter Obi.
So this looked like a match that was not made in heaven from the scratch, the coalition. And I wonder, what was the plan all along? Because a lot of people had seen this coming already. So were you hoping against hope that things will not turn out this way? We know that Mr. Atiku Abubakar is the most powerful, prominent, influential in the ADC, and most likely the primary was going to go his way. So why did you agree to even join the coalition in the first place? What was promised? What conversations were had to convince you against what was the obvious fact?
No, it was not as if anybody was afraid of a primaries. But like I said, there are certain irreducible minimums in every association. First, the leadership of the ADC had emerged with former Senate President David Mark from the Northern Region as chairman. And when you go into an association, it's like courtship in marriage. You will not, because some things are said about a particular partner and you run away, you can give it a try. That's the whole essence of courtship. And remember, both men, Mr. P2B and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, are close, having run on the same platform in 2019. And for some of us, we thought that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will play the role of statesman and know that what is needed urgently in the country is the stabilizing factor of unity. And having especially gone through the process in 2023 that led the PDP to where it is today. So, in the course of that courtship, if you are trying to save your mother, we also dictates that you should not push your father down. And when we saw that he wasn't going to let go, and especially as the government of the day was not comfortable with Mr. P2B and the other major opposition figures binding together, we thought that we should look for a platform that is a little less encumbered, unlike what the situation is in the APC. So it's not as if we didn't think about it. We thought about it and went into it. But when we saw that Tigers would hardly change their spots, we had to move on.
So, in moving on now, what appears to be playing out, especially with, a study of the reactions to this latest round of defection, is the intense scrutiny on the management capabilities of Mr. P2B as a leader himself. And some of the reactions, the criticisms coming through is his inability, seeming inability, to manage crisis and, people, and his tendency to take flight at a slightest challenge to his aspiration. They cited the leadership crisis within the Labour Party, the leadership crisis within the NDC, and as a result, can we trust him, to manage a more complex challenge as Nigeria? As one who is a staunch and astute supporter of Mr. P2B, how do you defend him against this criticism?
Well, I don't want this to be a we versus them scenario. Else I would have simply asked you, why didn't Alhaji Atiku Abubakar stay back in the PDP and manage the crisis that erupted as a result of his candidacy only 4 years ago? Why didn't he stay back in the several political parties that he came out to run on as their presidential candidate and thereafter left? I thought that people should be applauding Mr. P2B. Would you rather stew in crisis or rather desire a conducive atmosphere? What Mr. P2B seeks is a country that works for everybody. It's not a political party that is bogged down by several shenanigans, by competing interests in-house and by government seeking to make sure that it doesn't even appear on the ballot. And short of going to the streets to demonstrate, he decided to avail himself of democratic options available by seeking other platforms. If you talk about Labour Party, who is talking about Barrister Julius Abure today? Mr. P2B, went through the judicial process, and the Supreme Court on April 4th, 2025, did make a landmark pronouncement that the tenure of Julius Abure, which is at the center of the crisis in the Labour Party, was over. And I was part of the team, along with Mr. P2B, Governor Alex Oti, senators and House members, that went to INEC with the certified true copy of this judgment. And INEC said they were going to study it. But they kept studying the same judgment until Mr. P2B left Labour Party on the 30th of December 2025 and declared interest for ADC. 4 days later, the Independent National Electoral Commission, if they are independent, now issued a statement saying that without any compulsion, the Abure's tenure was over. So what would you have wanted Mr. P2B to do? I think that is a vindication of Mr. P2B's stance in the Labour Party. If the highest court in the land had made a pronouncement, instead of trolling state agencies like INEC that ought to give vent to that judgment, and they refused to, why would they turn around to accuse the person that they are all trying to push out of that same platform? If you talk about the current one, the ADC, Atiku Abubakar registered for ADC sometime last year. Mr. P2B only gave an indication that he was moving there on the 30th of December. All of January, nothing happened. All of February, nothing happened. On March 7, 2026, he went to his village, I was there, to register as a member of the party. Remember I said Atiku Abubakar had long registered. As soon as Mr. P2B registered, less than 1 week after, the case filed by Nafi Ubala since September 2025 was suddenly given accelerated hearing, such that we have a situation where we came to status quo ante bellum.
Right.
So you should know that this whole shenanigans is about Mr. P2B and nobody else.
Well, all right, if you say so, but Nigerians will have to decide on that. One more from me, and I wonder if you were at the All Opposition Parties Summit in Ibadan. One of the resolutions from that summit was that the opposition agreed to present one candidate. And right after that, we've seen a very big defection of Mr. P2B and Alhaji Kwankwaso to the NDC. And so that leaves us with great expectations from what will come from the ADC as well, because of Mr. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's resolve to also be on the ballot. So why should we take the opposition seriously if it looks as if it cannot stand by his word?
Yeah, I will answer your question, but when you say Nigerians will decide that, I want to say that Nigerians are already deciding. From the House of Representatives and the Senate, the number of members that have moved has shown that the swing, which opposition political party or figure is able to pull that number to his side, that is one. On the outside, millions of Nigerians are now making a switch to the platform of NDC that Mr. P2B is on. So Nigerians are already deciding. Then coming to the Ibadan summit, yes, I was there in Ibadan. We all went to Ibadan with the sole aim of having the coalition support one presidential candidate. And it's still on the cards. The people who came to Ibadan, the PDP was there, ADC was there, some other smaller political platforms were all there. And yet they were talking about having one president. It doesn't mean that these other parties will not field candidates. When they field candidates, at the opportune and right time, the leaders of these various parties would come together to look at the candidates that has the most chance of making it, and then can simply ask their followers and supporters to go that way. And secondly, it might dovetail into a second round of voting. And when it comes to that, that's the whole essence of coalition politics.
Right.
We will all sit down and look at the candidates and know who has the better chance and go for that individual. But already you know where this thing is swinging opposition-wise.
All right. On a final note, Honorable, it's been said that yet again the coalition has succeeded in handing over the election to President Bola Tinubu, because we may have a repeat of what played out in 2023. But again, you can never tell, because people are fluid in the way they vote. But Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, who I imagine is your friend, still your friend, even though you're not in the ADC together anymore, had said that if Mr. Peter Obi leaves the ADC, then that means maybe he's working for President Tinubu. What do you say to those who see things moving and they wonder, what if? Because it doesn't make political sense. You're making the same mistake and expecting a different result.
Well, if you're talking about working for President Tinubu, between Mr. Peter Obi and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, we all know who is Bola Ahmed Tinubu's friend.
Well,
it
I
goes
don't.
back a long way.
So which of them is?
You don't? In fact, once he ran on President Bola Tinubu's platform. He offered him a platform to run for president in
also,
the past.
You think Mr. Atiku Abubakar is working for the president?
If you say so, I would not have any reason to doubt you.
No, I'm asking you.
Because a lot of his businesses are government related, and so his insistence to run has been interpreted by several people to mean that he doesn't want the opposition to put his best foot forward. But besides all of that, the issue of 2027 is not about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar or Mr. Peter Obi. It is an election between the Nigerian people and the poor-performing All Progressives Congress political party.
Right.
It's an election between inflation, between insecurity, between high petrol prices,
right,
between high cost of living and the current administration. And it's there for Nigerians to choose. If they want 4 more years of the current state of things in Nigeria, where the average family does not know where the next meal will come from, then it's up to them. But if they want 4 years where the country can be reset for progress, as Mr. Peter would say, from the consumption that we are currently still engaged in to production, then it's an open choice for the Nigerian people to make. And I am sure that they will make the right call.
Well, Honorable,
speaking with Mr. Peter Obi.
Right, you and 16 other colleagues moved to the NDC now. So well, we wish you the very best, and for Nigeria, may the most appropriate, may the best win for the good of our nation. We've been speaking with Honorable Alpha Morgan, a member representing Obaru Federal Constituency, Anambra State. He just moved from the ADC to the NDC. So talk about fresh Tiaroba in that sense. Honorable, thank you for your time. Once again, wish you the best.
Thank you, thank you. More members are coming.
Okay. We'll take a quick break now, and when we return, we come to Lagos with the concerns around dredging. What exactly is going on? Stay with us.